Hello and welcome to Chinwag. I'm Kim from Pooches Galore.
And I'm Carla at Completely Canine.
And today we are going to broach the topic of dog training on the television.
Yes.
I feel
Hot
like,
topic.
yeah, there's a new show. Well, it's not new, second series of a show. I have watched the first two episodes.
Mm.
Um, so I can talk a little bit about that. But
Mhm.
TV dog training is problematic in my eyes. So
Yeah. I think
something
with
fun.
the majority of them tend to not be like positive reinforcement as well. So that I find that there's even more problematic
Yeah.
things.
This one is the one that's on currently is
Yes.
definitely
Yeah.
100%. So that is good.
Hmm.
And the other one that was on Channel 4 as well, the last one that was like an animal training one, that was positive reinforcement too. But yes, a
Mm.
lot of them are not
Yeah.
in that vein. So yeah, let's dive in and see where we go with this one.
Let's dive in. So we're coming from two slightly not different stances, but two different experiences because I'm not someone who has watched many of them, although the ones I have watched, I can definitely say that they're problematic, whereas you've probably delved a little bit more into
I
interviewing.
Yeah, so what I tend to do is I don't want to spend my evenings watching dog training.
Mm,
I do it all day,
yeah,
every day. I don't want to come home from work and then sit and watch dog training on the TV. It
yeah,
doesn't do it for me. But
yeah.
I know it doesn't for a lot of my clients. So I generally watch the first episode of any series on dog
Mhm.
training so
Okay.
that I can understand what their methodology is, how they train stuff, so that when my clients say to me, well, I watched
Mhm.
Graham on the telly and he did this, I can understand what what the show was trying to do and why it's
Mm,
problematic. And then I can
yeah.
talk to them about it. So I watch it from that point of view and that point of view
Mhm.
only. So
Yeah.
I have watched a bit of 𝙒𝙬𝙗𝙤𝙤𝙤. I have watched a bit of Graham Hall. I've watched this current, it's called is it called the Bad Dog Academy? I hate the name so much, it can't stick in my head. It used to be called the Dog Academy, which I thought was a great title. And then they've changed it. And one of my followers on Instagram said that it was because they were trying to pull the Channel 5 viewers across with the kind of, I can't remember what that program's called either. Um, but calling it like the Bad Dog, it's that kind of shock jock type title. So yeah, so that's why I watch. I don't tend to sit and watch them for my viewing pleasure,
Yeah.
but I like to
I've
understand them.
I've definitely like dipped in if they've happened to have been on. Like Season Milan's been on for absolute what feels like decades.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately.
I've seen a couple of his, things that were a long time ago. I think I've seen a Graham Hall thing once. I saw some of Victoria's last
Oh yes.
series. Is it Me or the Dog?
It's Me or the Dog, yeah.
Yeah, so I've dipped in and out of stuff, but I don't, again, same as you, whether it's positive or not, or whether it aligns with my ethics or not,
Yeah.
it's busman's holiday.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit and, but I don't watch Crufts. I'm not
No.
interested. I don't,
No, no,
no.
I no, I and the clips I've never got through a Graham Hall episode from start to finish, and I've never got through a
Mm,
Season Milan episode from start to finish. I have watched the more controversial episodes of Graham Hall on
mhm,
like my iPad and like skipped through.
yeah.
And again, it comes for me, it's from a place of understanding, so I can talk about what they're doing and then the impact
Mhm.
of that training on
Yes.
a dog going forwards. Because one of the biggest concerns I have, especially about the non-positive reinforcement based training, is people going, oh, my dog does that. Now I can do an alpha roll on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which when I started in this career, some time ago, and Caesar Malan was huge at the time,
Mm,
that's what he was doing. He was pinning dogs to the floor. He was making that noise that
mm,
is preconditioned with a fire extinguisher, to my understanding.
mhm.
Um, and people were being bitten because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's
There's only so much on any TV program that you can write, don't try this at home, but people will do it because they think it's a like quick
but
fix
but
and
it's
it's
dog
easy.
training. Why should it be so dangerous?
But
It
even
just,
like even in the positive world, like I still think it shouldn't be a try this at home if you're watching it on TV, because it's not like it's an individual basis. There is a lot of the learning theory that works the same,
yeah.
but
Oh, yeah. And we've talked about that.
yeah, but you know, every dog's an individual and you could be missing so much. And this is one of the things is that you
Yeah.
might be missing pain, you might be missing that, and you can't see that as an owner compared to
I think
professional.
for me, the difference is if you try aversive-based dog training, you really run the risk of you being bitten or someone else being bitten.
Yes.
And you're missing a million other things.
Mm-hmm.
If you try positive reinforcement techniques at home,
Mm-hmm.
the fallout is less dangerous. You're probably
Yeah.
not going to see the results that you want because, like you
No.
say, we're missing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you feed
Yeah.
a treat at the wrong time, the
Yeah,
world
it's not gonna
probably isn't
hurt
going to
you.
fall apart.
No, it's not. No.
And that's my fundamental difference is if you get
Yes.
positive reinforcement wrong, you're probably not going to see what you want, but you're potentially not going to make anything worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you add aversives, that
Mm.
is not the case.
No. And you not even just getting bitten, but making
Yeah.
that dog completely distrust you and
Yeah.
perhaps making that behaviour worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, or generalizing it to more stimulus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fallout.
Yeah.
But if you're pinning a dog to the floor, you're really high risk of being bitten.
Yeah. Or trying to take its food bowl off it.
Oh yeah,
for
that
growling at you.
was quite a viral clip, wasn't it? Where
It
even Caesar
was.
Milan got bitten then, didn't he?
He was in hospital. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Didn't learn though, did he?
No. Well, I saw somewhere through the grapevine that he'd got more positive in his training as the years
Not
have
hard.
gone. So I don't know what he's been doing over the last few years or when his last show sort of started to get recorded. I don't really know.
No, I don't. I actually haven't heard about him for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there was some issues around animal welfare or something, and I don't know if was it National Geographic that had him kind of distance themselves. Yeah, I also have so one of my things is as a behaviorist, and a lot of the training that is on these shows is more leaning towards the behavioral side than fundamental training.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit more like before and after, like here's a crazy dog and they're all fixed.
Yeah, it's effective.
Is
in getting viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, if you have an out of control dog or a seemingly out of control dog on an advert clip that's going to be transformed in 30 seconds or less, then that's going to be brilliant for TV.
Yeah.
Is that if that client came to me, they would be sent to the vet immediately for a vet check, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And we would work through what we call differential diagnoses. So differential diagnoses are all the other things that it could be. So if you've got a reactive dog, a dog that barks and lunges at another dog, it could be a whole plethora of different things. It isn't just like, oh, your dog barks and lunges at dogs, so let's do this.
Yeah.
Is it in pain? Is it fearful? Is it, like there's so many different things it could be that they never discuss that, or not when I watch it. They don't, and they definitely don't discuss the health implications that could be sitting behind it. And I know that these shows have a vet on set, so I know that they are doing it.
Yeah, but
it's never explicitly talked about.
Which it should be, because it's usually like with reactivity, it is pain is the I would say the number one, and it's never talked about because it's not impressive to people. It doesn't sell a show, but actually, if it was talked about, it could probably save quite a lot of people a lot of money in training that they're going to waste because the dog's just like can't access this because I hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that that's something that always upsets me, and that's one of the very few episodes of Graham Hall that I watched was a golden retriever who was labelled as stubborn, as a diva, because it wouldn't jump off the sofa and it wouldn't walk. Now, if that dog came to me presenting with that, they would be at the vets immediately. That dog's in pain. Like I watched about 30 seconds. And they were like, oh, it won't jump off the sofa onto this laminate floor unless we put a rug down. Yeah, of course it won't, because it slips on the laminate floor and it hurts. And so you put a rug down and the dogs learn, okay, when there's a rug, I don't slip, it doesn't hurt as much. And then they've got it on this harness, dragging it across the road.
Oh
and
God.
Graham Hall is laughing. And I was like, that dog is in pain. And that episode actually got removed from, I don't know if it's there now, but it was uproar about it because the dog was so clearly in pain. And they were laughing, calling it a diva, calling it stubborn. And what it needed was a vet check, probably some painkillers, maybe even operation, and definitely some physio. And that was, yeah, they removed that episode from the like online library. But it's a classic example of a dog displaying behaviours because they're in pain.
Yeah. And it's the whole iceberg theory, isn't it? Like, you see the tip, you see the actual physical behaviour that is affecting you as a person, because that's what you've decided is a problem for you or your dog or whoever's around. And underneath the surface, you have all of these potential things, and probably a mixture of them happening. You've got emotions, you've got fear, you've got anxiety, you've got pain, discomfort, gut issues, like, you know, allergies, weather, all of these things. And a lot of the time it's, well, let's just deal with the thing in front of us, and let's see that. So it's, let's stop the behavior, not let's look at what the behavior is trying to communicate. What's the root, so that we deal with the root, we don't have to deal with the behavior.
Absolutely. So that's one thing. And I think it annoys me more because I know that they have a vet or a vet nurse on set. So they are aware of it. They're just not explicit about talking about it.
Yeah. I wonder how limited they are in being able to intervene and talk.
I don't know, but it would make me, I kind of think it's if something happens, like if the dog cuts their paw or something, you know, something happens in the moment, they're there. But they are there to check on the dog's welfare as well during filming and stuff. And that's with an animal on any set, whether it's Coronation Street, whether it's the Dog Academy or whatever it's called, you know, like that. If there's an animal on set, then there is, their welfare is well looked after. So my other thing, my big thing, I know I have a lot of big things, I think I'm going to say and another big thing, it's like having a number of ones on the top of a list, isn't it? Is the speed at which the training is done.
Yes.
I know it takes a really long time to change an emotional connection to something. You can't do it in an hour's program. And then it sets unrealistic expectations for clients that ring trainers and behaviourists for their own dog, because we don't walk in with a magic wand. We don't fix things in 20 minutes or less. It is a process. And
what is the like with, I haven't watched the Bad Dog one recently, but what is the given time? What do they state, or do they not?
No, I don't think they do, and if I've missed it then I am sorry, but I don't think they did. So they had a 𝘾𝙝𝙤𝙤𝙤 on who was lunging, barking, acting aggressively towards people, which is kind of in their DNA. And they did talk about that. They did talk about, you know, this breed of dog, they have their people and they don't really like to let other people in. What they were bred to do, it's quite kind of breed specific behavior. And they just went like, here's a person far away. Oh no, they were, here's a mannequin. And they were doing a kind of look back at the owner type behavior, like a check-in, I think they called it, or with me or watch me or something like that they were using. They didn't seemingly pre-train this cue for the dog. They just put a mannequin in a field, and then when the dog looks at the mannequin, they just repeatedly said the word until the dog looked at them and then rewarded, which I had issues with. And then they had a person and they did the same thing. And then the dog was fixed.
And that all happened in the same...
In one episode. Well, in one section of the show.
And they didn't say whether they'd cued it before or tried to cue it at home or anything like that.
No. I think that is quite unrealistic for any dog, but specifically that breed of dog.
Yeah.
And their ultimate aim was to have people coming into their home.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Um,
a bit icky for me. In as much as I would have worked on the queue beforehand, or if it if that wasn't necessary, I would have worked at a greater distance so that the queue was easier for the dog to pick up. And then gradually reduced the distance. I wouldn't have used a mannequin. I don't think that's realistic enough. Maybe
okay.
for some dogs. Um,
I don't have one to hand, so I can't.
Just turning up to like the local park
Yeah.
with a mannequin under your arm, being like, "Well, this is what we're doing."
Like I can see in a like I have a stooge pretend dog that I might try if it's a dangerous, if
Yeah,
it's a worry or it's an unchecked thing,
yeah.
then yeah, sure.
Sometimes they're good for helping owners to learn the behavior without the stress of actually having another
Yes.
dog there as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Susie, my stooge, the stooge black lab.
Black Lab's a good one actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of dogs don't like black
No,
dogs, or
no.
but a lot of dogs I've worked with like look at it and are like, it's a
It's not
stuffed
real.
dog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she comes in the car quite a lot, but I don't use her as much as I thought I would when I originally bought her. But yeah, I would have worked on distance gradients. I would have also characterized people. So is the dog better with women, men, tall men? Do they, if they have, and if they've got a suitcase or something, is it worse? So you're like looking at gradients within the people as well. So you're not just grouping all people together. And then I would have started with the easiest. They might have said, women with light coloured hair are generally okay. Okay, cool. Let's start with them.
Yeah.
And
when
then
they're
working
sitting
up.
down facing the opposite way. Yeah.
Yeah, paying no attention to the dog, not
Yeah.
moving, not walking towards them. Yeah, so you make it as easy as possible. And then it could be, tall, large men, they've got dark hair and a beard are the most challenging. Okay, so we're going to work up to them. And then we're going to do, you're breaking it all down. I would have also muzzle trained the dog appropriately so that everyone's safe. Like there's so many layers to it. But just going, here's a mannequin, here's a person, have a conversation, bish, bash, bosh, we're done. I mean, I would love to do that, but yeah, it makes it really difficult to then talk to a client who's been watching that on the telly and been like, my dog does this and I expect you to do that. And I'm like, I really work like that. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So it's the methods are better than things we've seen, and it's good that it's positive, and but the issue is still that it's all within one episode, and that you are not given it's not a substantial amount of time to detail the sort of areas. You could almost, I suppose, for feedback is like set the episode up so that you've got like, here's the assessment, here's the background of the dog, here's the way we're going to train this at home, and then here's us doing this in the environment where it's realistic. It would be really good. I
think the other thing they could do, instead of just having like a couple of dogs per episode, is they could do the whole series and follow the dogs across the series. You don't have to have a dog come in on episode 1 and be fixed by the end of that episode. You can, people are generally committed to watching a program, so they'll be like, okay, so this is the assessment and these are our foundation behaviors, and then you're going to do this. That's such a
good idea.
And then at the end of the series, at the end of the 6 weeks or however long the series runs for, then you've got a more realistic outcome of what has happened in those 6 weeks.
Yeah, and it gives people like a thing to relate to. If they're working on something with their dog, they can go, well, that week that dog managed to do that, and we've just done reward markers for a week as well. So what's their next step if we are going to try it at home? Exactly. We've got an option here. That's such a good idea. Maybe you should contact us.
Maybe I should be a TV producer.
Oh my god! Moving on from podcasts.
Yeah, that's it. We're just on a trajectory. But I think that there's a lot, and I think then you would get the ongoing support that clients need behind the scenes, because they don't have that either. They're kind of taken to
as far as we know.
As far as we know, we're taken, I think, as far as we know, but also from somebody who's watching, they're not seeing that I have a lot of ongoing support. They're taken to this really nice manner, and then here's your training.
And we're not sure how long for.
No. Yeah, I
Okay.
think putting timescales around especially the positive reinforcement stuff where it is slower, I
Mhm.
think would really help people understand stuff.
Yeah.
With the more aversive stuff, they are suppressing behavior. So it does appear to work faster
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
just stopping a behavior rather than changing the emotional attachment behind it as well.
Yeah. Do you think there might be an element there of like they think it won't sell, or they don't want to say that it's going to take a long time because people then are
Yeah.
not like interested? But realistically, nowadays, I think people are a bit more attuned to the differences in
Yeah.
methods and are willing to put
Yeah.
the effort in.
Maybe I think it's a really difficult one to know, and I'm sure they've done the market research. I mean, we're just sitting here talking about it from like a this is reality in our world, this is what dog training looks
Yeah.
like, and this is what we're seeing on the TV. I'm
Yeah.
sure that the TV production company have done loads of market research,
Oh,
have done
sure.
loads behind
Yeah.
the scenes, and
Mm.
they've discovered this kind of perfect formula
Mm.
that works.
Mm.
It doesn't work when it's your profession being put out there, is you.
Yeah, but I do think like you're right there, and I do think, like with Married at First Sight being the only thing that I watch, I watch it because I want to know what happens next with the ones that I've just got like not attached to, but I've
Following the
sort of.
journey, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, and that's the if I watched it and there was one wedding a week and it was the whole
The
information of that
weddings.
wedding and their life, I wouldn't carry on watching it because it wouldn't draw me in.
So I watch Strictly Come Dancing because my daughter loves it, and so I watch it for her.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wouldn't watch it on my own. They go on a journey on that is like the key word when like the key word of Strictly Come Dancing is the journey. So you have
Yeah,
week one, you have someone who's got two left feet,
yeah,
can't put like four steps together,
yeah,
but they are a trier. And then they go on this journey to the final where they're doing fancy pants lifts and twiddly
yeah,
stuff and all of these things. And I would say people stick with that program for the journey. They
yeah,
don't really seem to like the people who come out on week one who are as good as the professional twirling around the dance floor. It's definitely those people who can't dance and then who can dance. And that is over, my God, months
yeah,
and months
yeah,
and
yeah.
months. You
So
know?
yeah, it'll work.
So there is a formula out there. When you talked about Married at First Sight, I was like, actually, there is a program, and any of those kind of is it dancing on ice? That it's
Yeah,
all of those, isn't it? Where you take the people who can't do it, you teach them over months, then they can
yeah,
do it, and
yeah.
that's
There's something ridiculously satisfying for humans about watching the learning process
yeah,
and celebrating with people as
yeah.
well.
And watching the dancing, thinking I couldn't do that, but maybe I could if I kept trying.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
look I look like that person on a dance floor with two left
yeah.
feet and no rhythm. And
It's
then
empathy, it's connection,
yeah.
it's yeah. Oh, we're onto something here.
Oh, I think we've got a TV show in us.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I'm so awkward on a camera. Like this is fine because not many people watch YouTube compared to listen to
No.
Spotify, so I'm all right with it.
And also, it's just us having a chat and we do that all the time. So it doesn't feel like I don't feel like I'm on
Yeah.
camera as much
No.
as if I've got camera like facing me
Yeah, I
as
used to
well.
put makeup on for this, and then I stopped.
There was a time
Yeah.
we made an effort and
Yes.
it's April and we've already gone downhill.
Yeah, I've got my lounge pants on as well. So
Have
anyway.
you? I'm going out to see a client after this. I'm like, I actually got, myself sorted. Um, okay, so yeah, so I do think that it would be great if they could just make the process not magical overnight. That's what
Yeah.
I would really like.
Yeah. Give realistic expectations
Yeah,
as to what this type of process looks like so
yeah,
that people don't feel like, oh God, I'm never gonna
yeah.
achieve that.
And also without the warning of don't try. I mean, I wouldn't try anything by 𝙒𝙤𝙗𝙘𝙀 Milan at home because
No.
his methods were potentially some of the most dangerous I've seen on a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like trying at home unsupervised way.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Graham Hall. I have definitely not watched enough. I cannot abide him.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but I
it's still dog whispery, so I still
it
wouldn't try it
definitely
at
still
home.
is kind of
Yeah,
pack leadery, isn't it? And
yeah,
yeah. But it would be great if they said, because the second episode that I watched of the bad dog, what is it called? The Bad Dog Academy, the
yeah.
school for bad dogs, whatever it is.
Mm.
It was two dogs that fought in a house, like, but properly fought against one another, which is a scenario I come up against a lot at work. And they just did this kind of, when the collie started staring at the spaniel who was like running around, have like a party time treats, like go party time and then move them away with treats, which yes, will work, but is also quite dangerous.
Mm.
In as much as if you don't catch it.
If you don't catch it, I'm not going to put this off Kim. She's having a coughing fit in the background.
Sorry, I can't shake this cold off.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the way I would do it either.
No, and it's a good interrupter if you can catch it at the right time.
Yeah,
but there's so many other elements to that
that you've got to.
yeah
Definitely.
yeah So I think what we're saying is, don't, enjoy the shows, enjoy the transformations, definitely, watch the ones that are more positive reinforcement focused, but take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, and seek professional help from somebody that's going to work with you on an individual basis if you do need help with your dog,
and realize it's not going to be overnight with them.
Yeah,
and if they promise that, walk away,
walk away, fly away, run away.
Yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
Let's see what people think. It'd be interested to see what non-dog trainers think about the shows.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know.
Yeah, fab.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.